Welcome to Horror Bois. It's a podcast on the internet. I'm Austin, joined as always by
Chris.
And we are the Horror Bois. And this isn't any old podcast on this old internet. No. This is a horror movie review podcast where every week we review a horror movie. That's right. The intro is evolved, everyone.
Yeah, I've created a monster.
That's how this podcast works. We get a bit, and I run it into the ground until it's just who I am.
I hope you really were a fan of the Riddler in the new Batman movie, because...
Is that what that's from? I just copied
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, Batman. Yeah, I think I realized that's what it was actually a meme parodying the Riddler's Joker.
Alright, yeah, fair enough. That sounds about right for us. Random meme parodying the Joker, or from, not the Joker, whatever, screw it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Today, we're continuing the greatest experience we've ever done. That's right, it is Bois Choice. It's back, baby. For Bois Choice 2, Freddy's Revenge. And today, we're talking about Chris's choice. Then you say it, because it's your choice. I don't know what I say. That makes no sense.
This is my choice, and the name of the choice of movie that I picked.
Get to it. I know we're trying to pad for time because there's not a lot of notes, but you can just get to the point.
Very. It's Creep.
Oh, yeah.
Creep.
I don't know, actually. My notes say Mayhem Creep, and I don't think it was because of an issue with me posting it on the same page. I'm pretty sure the movie is called Mayhem Creep.
No, it's just Creep, actually.
Oh. Alright, well, let's talk about Creep. And, just like everything in these notes, our pre-notes are real short today, so let's talk about them. Our director and co-writer is Patrick Bryce. Our other co-writer is Mark Duplass of Jeff, Who Lives at Home, which is a really good indie comedy that I just really like. There's no Horror Boy alums in it, so I can't talk about it more than just saying it's a fun movie. It stars Jason Segel and Ed Helms, and it's really fun. I liked it.
An entertaining movie with Jason Segel. That's wild.
Yeah. What's that supposed to be? That's Chris, normally I wouldn't, dive into that too much because we only have so much time on the podcast. But I think today I have time to ask you, what the heck was that about, man? He's in a couple good movies.
Wait, hold on.
You're thinking of Steven Seagal.
I'm thinking of Steven Seagal.
Jason Segel is the comedic actor from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, it sure is.
And The Muppets.
Yeah, tall.
Yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
That's a pretty good movie.
And so is Jeff, Who Lives at Home, which is a movie he's in, alongside Ed Helms. I believe he's Jeff. I think. I honestly forgot who was Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
Yes.
So anyways.
Moving on. Next, we normally would talk about our cinematographer, but as you'll see soon, there isn't one. So we'll continue with our composers, which I don't know how we have composers in this movie that I don't think has music.
Huh.
We have Kyle Field and Eric Andrew Kuhn, who there is maybe 5 seconds of music throughout this whole movie. There's no soundtrack to this, but somehow we have 2 composers working on this movie.
Maybe it was white noise that they worked on together.
I mean, maybe, but there's no music. There's no backtracks in this, so I don't know how we got really one composer, let alone 2.
Look, well, there was a song that they played on the radio.
Yeah?
But I guess that wouldn't have been composed.
Yeah.
Because that would have been licensed, probably.
Yeah,
unless it was a song that they wrote themselves.
Which is possible. It is possible.
There we go.
Our production designer, which is the next thing I have to talk about. 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to copy over something that I want to send to you for later in the podcast. Ooh, what's that mean? What's that? Ooh.
I don't know.
I know. I didn't tell you about it at all.
I don't know. We've never sent things to each other during the podcast.
Yeah, I know. I have something to send you that I will send to you at the appropriate time during the podcast.
Oh. Wow.
We'll just paste that there, and we'll hit send when we're ready. Sorry, guys. I wanted to prep that before, but completely forgot about it till right now. Our production designer is Lindsay Richardson, which, once again, no offense to her, don't know much production design she did. It seems like they kind of just rented out an Airbnb, pretty much. But, she decided what, the artwork on the wall, maybe.
Or maybe it was like an unfurnished Airbnb.
That's true.
Although that's typically not how that ever works.
Yeah. The visual effects were done by R. Zane Rutledge. Normally I bring up, visual effects studios, but there is one person who is credited for visual effects in this movie, and it's that guy. And there's like maybe one visual effects shot that I can think of in the movie. So, yeah. Woo. Let's talk about this movie.
Let's!
Yeah, we open with Aaron telling his camera that he's taken a job off Craigslist to film someone for $1,000 a day in the mountains, who he hopes is a woman who will want to play harmonica.
Yeah.
And that's the scene. That's the scene, guys.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Aaron is played by Aaron is played by Patrick Bryce, the director and co-writer.
Huh.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Aaron. Also, I guess we should mention here, this is a found footage movie. I guess we did mention that before at this point. So yeah, that's a found footage movie.
Yeah.
I guess technically maybe it isn't, in the sense I don't know if this footage was found. More so we're viewing. I don't know. We'll get to that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it is in the found footage style. When he arrives at the house, no one answers the door. When he sees an axe in the yard, he decides to wait in his car.
Yeah, he got spooked by the axe.
And that's the second scene. Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he then he gets jump scared by Joseph at his window.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
this is gonna be a weird energy.
Very,
this might be a weird energy, guys. I didn't expect it to be, but talking about this movie, maybe I'm realizing
it'll get a lot more weird later on once we approach certain subject matter. So
yeah. Joseph is played by Mark Duplass, the co-writer of this movie. Your notes are really easy on this movie, guys.
Wow. These two dudes were like, let's make a movie.
I mean, basically, Mark Duplass was kind of...
let's also just act in it.
Yeah, Mark Duplass... Well, I mean, basically, yeah. I guess peek behind the curtain here. Not peek behind the curtain, not my curtain, but fun. Yeah. I watched a little interview with them. Apparently, Mark Duplass, which, he had done, like, Jeff Who Lives at Home, I believe, before this, and he had done a couple other, like, indie movies. He was kind of like a indie movie darling. Like, he was the guy kind of, like, on the indie movie scene with his brother. They would, like, co-direct and co-write movies. And he found this guy... Patrick Bryce. He found a documentary he made about the last harmonica video theater in Paris. Not making this up, guys. And he liked the interview because it could be one of those ones where it kind of feels like just kind of like a generic talking head documentary. But apparently he thought that Patrick just had such an energy that he was able to, like, pull out from this guy, and he wanted to play off of that in this movie, kind of like the way, like, because this is basically filmed in a style where it feels like it's Patrick Bryce almost making a documentary of sorts, as Aaron. So, like, he wanted to kind of play off of that, as well as, yeah, that's basically it. And initially they wanted to make this a dark comedy, but when they, like, showed it to people, they didn't really care about the dark comedy elements and really cared about the more, like, horror thriller elements. So they, like, reshot it over, like, a year and a half, like, scene by scene, basically, here and there, picking new scenes to add to it. And then we got the movie that we got here.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What an insane filming process.
Yeah, it's a really weird process. And it's, like, basically just those two dudes.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And also really impressive.
Yeah, it does add a little bit of charm to the movie, for sure. But yeah, so Joseph apologizes for scaring Aaron and tells him it's going to be a good day. Joseph then hugs Aaron and tells him by the end of the day it'll be normal. and they head into the house. And that is the end of scene 3. I'm not going to do that for every scene.
And that is the end of scene 4. And that is the end of the movie.
And we're done.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, see you next week. No, okay. But yeah, so inside, Joseph tells Aaron that this is his family vacation home where he has a lot of special memories, including painting the pictures on the wall with his dad. Which were probably chosen out by Lindsay Richardson, as I alluded to earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Joseph explains that he is a cancer survivor who had cancer in his liver that spread to his lungs, but it went into remission thanks to chemo. But now he has a brain tumor and has been given 2 to 3 months to live. His wife, Angela, is pregnant with their son, who they call Buddy. I guess they never say it's a son, but due to Buddy being such a masculine name, I assumed it's an unborn son. So yeah. I don't know if I refer to him as son. I think I just refer to the unborn kid as Buddy going forward in the notes. But,
fair.
Yeah. Joseph wants Aaron to film a day in his life in case he doesn't make it, so his son will have a memory of him, like the movie My Life, starring Michael Keaton. That's not me just knowing about the movie My Life, starring Michael Keaton, and saying this is like that. No, that's literally just like a line talking about, if you see seeing My Life, it's about Michael Keaton who has cancer and like films himself. It's like, that's literally a line in the movie. That's not me just... actually, if you haven't seen the movie My Life with Michael Keaton, this whole movie really reminds me of it. I doubt that. Haven't seen My Life starring Michael Keaton, but I feel like besides that opening, there's not much else that's close to it. Joseph has Aaron follow him up to the bathroom, where Joseph gets naked and gets into the tub. Huh.
Yeah, a little bit jarring.
Yeah. Joseph tells Buddy that this is his first tubby time with his dad. He explains how he loved tubby time with his dad. We then see him pretend to play with his future son for a bit in this weird and unsettling scene.
Yeah, it is very unsettling. It's like just very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just very uncomfortable at this point is where you're feeling. These feelings of uncomfort, I feel like, is definitely the right wording there.
Yeah. I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
It's the general feeling.
Then Joseph tells Aaron, can't stop thinking about it, Aaron. Aaron asks what, and Joseph explains, 2 to 3 months, most of which I will be in pain or at the very least sad. I mean, look at this scene. It's a tubby scene. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be sad, you know? I just can't help thinking. Why wait, you know? Because I could just end it right now. I could, you know? He then submerges his head underwater. And that's the movie, guy. It's a 5-minute short film. And Chris chose it for his Bois Choice. Weird choice, but alright.
Yeah, I just wanted a shorter one after.
I don't know if I really call it a horror movie, more of just like a very dark, sad moment. I want to see the dark comedy they were trying to make. Why did they reshoot all of it and only leave 5 minutes of just depression? Oh wait, no, it is actually not over. My bad. Aaron starts to freak out and check on him, and Joseph pops out to jump scare him. Rah.
Yeah, another Joseph jump scare. Classic Joseph.
Get used to that, because there's gonna be a few of them. Then Joseph apologizes for scaring him, telling him it was just supposed to be a joke. They get ready to head out for a walk. Joseph tells Aaron there's jackets he can borrow in the closet. When Aaron opens the closet, he gets scared by a wolf mask. Joseph says the mask is named the Friendly Wolf, the Friendly Wolf Peach Fuzz. And he sings a song and does a dance for Buddy that his dad used to sing to him wearing the mask. And now I'm going to send Chris the song so he can sing it for you guys.
Oh God! What?
Yep.
What? Oh, I don't even remember how.
Here's the thing: you can just say it, but I end up whenever I say I'm gonna not sing it, I end up doing a slight singing, and I don't want to deal with it today. I'm letting you do it.
Fair. Hello, my name is Peach Fuzz. I might look like I'll eat you up, roar, but I'm as friendly as a rabbit, and I make a very good friend. Peach Fuzz, I am here. There's nothing to fear.
Yay! Chris did it!
Yeah. And that's it. And
I'm really glad that I made Chris do that because he seems so uncomfortable, and I'm okay with making him feel uncomfortable.
after I made you watch this movie.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's the least I could do.
After me being uncomfortable for about 2 minutes compared to the hour of discomfort I made you sit through.
Yeah, you understand. Also, I think this might just be a recurring bit that if there's songs, I'm going to send them to you because you have a slightly better singing voice than me. You know, because you're actually, like, talented. Not that you could tell there, but, you know. But yeah. In the car, Joseph tells Buddy about a legend of the trail he and Aaron are going to. It's called Las Aguas Milagros de Corazon, or the Miracle Waters of the Heart. He explains that the legend is there's a body of water that will heal you as long as you have a pure heart. And that's the end of that. So I'm just kidding.
You can't keep getting away with this!
But I think I can, because I'm in control! On the trail, Joseph is running past Aaron. Joseph says he sees something in the woods and runs off the trail. Aaron starts to look for him, but Joseph jump scares him again. Are you getting tired of that? Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, that's bad.
Joseph, after laughing, says that he was showing Aaron what a near-death experience feels like. Alright, that's it. That's all you have to say about that, right? You know, he says a lot more words, but a lot of the dialogue in this movie I choose to condense to just its thoughts because it's not necessary. So they head back to the trail. Joseph tells Aaron that there were 2 seconds where it looked like he wanted to kill him. Aaron starts to say no, but Joseph interrupts and says, I don't take it personally. I think it was a visceral reaction. You know? It's a defense thing. But there's an animal in you. There's a little peach fuzz inside you yet. Joseph asks him if there's anyone he needs to make peace with before he dies. Aaron responds saying his ex. Joseph says that he thought he said axe, like an axe to grind, and he has an axe back at the house. Aaron says he saw it, and Joseph asks, "Can I ask you a question, and you'll answer me honestly? When you saw that axe out in the front of the house, was there a small part of you that thought I might kill you with it?" You know, normal questions to ask people you just met. What? This isn't normal? Oh, crap.
Hey, when you saw that knife in my room, did you think I was going to kill you with it?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
but the difference is I knew you.
Huh? Wait a second. I don't like that.
Also, Joseph has a really big, creepy smile as he says at the end of this line. Aaron responds, yeah, but I didn't know you. Joseph thinks that's great. Aaron asks Joseph if he remembers how to get back. Joseph says no, but continues. And because, you gotta keep going, you know. If you want to find a miracle, you can't live in the past, or whatever exactly he said. Basically, Joseph just won't listen to Aaron at this point, is the gist of it. Yeah. Lost my place. But, I think it's okay. I think we can all just lose our place a little bit in life here, and I'm just going to keep vamping for time, because I just want this podcast to at least 40 minutes, and I'm worried. Guys, I'm worried.
Could happen. It's not likely. It really is not very likely.
No. Yeah, and Joseph then finds a stream next to a rock with a hole that looks like a heart. They both go in the water and anoint each other. Using a rock, Joseph carves on another rock J plus A in a heart. Well, isn't that nice?
It's so lovely.
Yeah. Then they head to a diner called Billy Bear's that Joseph says has great pancakes. Mm-hmm. Once there, Joseph looks at the menu and says, "Let's see what's good here." Aaron is, confused.
Confused. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he used to go here all the time as a kid.
Yeah, and Joseph says, because, Joseph said the pancakes were good. And Joseph says, oh, they are, but the menu changes, so he's seeing what else is good. I feel like this Joseph guy might not be telling the full truth.
Suspicious.
Joseph asks Aaron if he's ever done anything he's really ashamed of. Aaron then replies with a story about when he was a little kid, he was known for pissing his pants! He was pissing his pants! Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Thank you.
Sadly.
Joseph thanks him for being willing to share such a hard story, and then asks for a turn to share. Joseph shows Aaron photos of Aaron that he took while hiding when Aaron showed up at his house, because he was nervous and wanted to get to know Aaron before Aaron got to know him.
Yeah.
He felt that would make him less scared.
Very normal things to do, really.
Yeah. Oh wait, maybe it's not, because here Joseph does apologize and says he's ashamed of it in hopes that they can move past it. Joseph is relieved when Aaron says he's past it. No, isn't that nice?
No.
We cut to later, when Aaron tries to drop Joseph off at his house and leave, but is convinced to come in for a glass of whiskey. This is framed in this really creepy but cool shot of Joseph standing backlit at the top of the stairs above Aaron. It's a really cool looking shot. I really appreciate the cinematography of the shot. Which is about one of the only times I can say that about this movie. Because this is a found footage movie, and this is one of the first ones I've ever watched, and I've learned I don't like the found footage camera style. I kind of hate it.
And would you believe that this is probably one of the best shot found footage films I've ever seen? And probably exists. Yeah, most of them, camera work, much worse. Yeah, it's not even like a narrow margin, it is a wide margin.
That's, it's a good thing there's no found footage arc coming up anytime soon.
Alright, Cloverfield.
But only the first one of those is found footage, so at least we wouldn't have to suffer through a lot of found footage there, right? Because at least one of them isn't. I don't know, there's like 3 of them, I think, and they're barely connected at all.
Yeah, they are very barely
One of them is like...
who has seen all 3.
Yeah, like one of them just is not found footage at all, right? Because it's in a house.
Cloverfield
at least.
Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about Paradox. I don't know anything about that one. All I know about Cloverfield, the original, is the parody they do in South Park. With the giant guinea pigs. A+ South Park episode. Normally I wouldn't take time to tell you about a South Park episode, audience, but once again, trying to hit 40 minutes, guys.
We've got that time right now. We have that time.
But yeah, once again, the point is, this shot, genuinely, really, just kind of creepy and really cool shot, with the way, the lights behind his head. It works really well. Credit to the filmmakers. Inside, Joseph, can you guess what he does, Chris?
Does he jump scare somebody?
Well, gosh darn, yes he does. That's all he knows how to do.
Yeah.
Upstairs,
say really unsettling things.
Yeah, upstairs, Joseph talks about how great the day was. He then asks Aaron, "What made you decide to come up to do this with me, anyway?" Aaron says, "I guess it was a job." Joseph asks if Aaron is having money problems. Aaron tries to say he's alright, but Joseph offers to give him some of his excess money, while Aaron tries to say no, but Joseph is persistent and tells him they'll figure it out later. Well, isn't that nice?
It certainly is something.
I guess. Aaron gets up to leave, and Joseph stops him by saying he lied to him about Peach Fuzz. He gets Aaron to promise to not tell another soul about what he's about to tell him, and tells him to turn off the camera. Aaron does, but we hear the conversation. Joseph explains that he found harmonica videos involving animals on his and his wife Angela's computer history. So he bought the mask and did a horrible thing to his wife wearing it that I'm not going to explain any further than that. You can probably make the connection, but yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
We cut out of that to Joseph wrapping up his video to Buddy, but wanting to run through it again. But Aaron is up, ready to go. Aaron starts looking for his keys, but can't find them. Joseph tells him he should just stay there for the night and look for his keys in the morning when there's more light. Aaron still wants to leave, but Joseph tells him he needs to stay because, technically he's not sober right now and needs to sober up. Aaron then makes them another glass of whiskey, spiking Joseph's with something.
Oh.
We find out later it's Benadryl, which I don't know if that would do anything.
Well, Benadryl does make you tired.
You'd have to put they do mention an empty bottle, so maybe. But I still feel like we didn't see him add a whole bottle's worth of Benadryl, and I don't think one Benadryl is enough to spike a drink. I could be wrong, and if it is, probably should be, more heavily controlled.
Maybe.
Joseph starts to do another take on his closing to the video for Buddy before stopping to ask Aaron if the whiskey tasted weird to him. He gets through another take, and we cut to him passed out in front of the fireplace. We get a jump scare of him waking up, but Aaron gets him to fall back asleep.
Yeah.
While sleeping, Aaron starts to do a harmonica solo to a dream about peach fuzz, but thankfully stops. Thankfully stops. Aaron sneaks over to try and find his keys in Joseph's pocket, but finds Joseph's phone, which starts to ring. Aaron takes it to another room, I believe a bathroom, and answers it. And it's Ghostface! Wait, no, it's Angela. Who, after Aaron tells her his side of the story, she tells him she's actually Joseph's sister, and Joseph's not mentally stable, and Aaron needs to get out of there ASAP. But the call breaks up before she can explain further. Bum, bum, bum. Chris, act dramatically, please. Thank you, Chris. Gosh darn it, Chris. We have to fill the podcast.
Oh, there's a podcast?
This is your choice movie. You have to pretend like you care about it. I don't.
Oh, I do.
Angela is voiced by Katie Sultan of Jeff Who Lives at Home, The Unholy, and our idiot brother alongside Horror Boy alum Emily Mortimer of Scream 3. When he leaves the bathroom, he sees that Joseph is no longer where he left him. Bum, bum, bum. We then get a prolonged, is the nice way of saying it, scene of Aaron looking for Joseph rather than leaving like he was warned to.
Yeah.
Aaron goes out to the open balcony door instead of out the front door to leave, and doesn't find Joseph. Oh, okay. And then turns around into a jump scare of Joseph saying death. Joseph continues. It's coming. A very long pause, and he continues. There's nothing we can do. Long pause. I don't want to die, Aaron. He starts crying, repeating, I don't want to die. He hugs Aaron. Aaron tells Joseph, I know what's going on here. I know you're troubled. Joseph swished off the emotions in an instant.
Yeah.
Total sociopath behavior.
Yeah. It is.
Like, once again,
legitimately frightening.
It is very, he's very emotional, and he's like, the second he realizes, oh, crap, he's on to me.
He's on to my shenanigans.
Yeah. Aaron continues, I'm willing to help. Look, I'm not angry. So just give me my keys, and we'll take it from there. I talked to Angela, man. Joseph runs away, heading downstairs. Aaron follows, slowly, and Joseph is standing in front of the door wearing the Peach Fuzz mask and won't move out of the way, growling and grinding his hips. Aaron tries to push past, but we hear a thud as the camera glitches out. Chris, I said,
the camera glitches out!
Thank you. Yeah. Lost my place. We cut to Joseph dragging bags up a hill and starting to dig a hole to bury them.
You go, geez, Aaron's dead for sure.
Before the footage pauses. Wait, what?
Huh?
And we find out it's a video Aaron is watching that Joseph sent to him in the mail. So, actually generally kind of, surprising. I was like, oh, wow, he died. Oh, well, what's going to happen next? I know there's no other cast in this movie. We then cut to Aaron waking up in the middle of the night and talking about a nightmare he's had of him and Joseph in a hot tub. Joseph is wearing the Peach Fuzz mask, and Aaron is wearing a baby wolf mask, and they're drinking wine. But then he's a baby, and Joseph is giving him a tubby, and the water is blood. Alright, next scene.
No, just a normal drink.
I guess I'll also pause here because this is like a really like weird long thing that he goes with. I'll also bring up here because a fun fact about the movie is this movie didn't really have a script. It had a 5-page outline with some like scene ideas, but everything else is pretty much just improv between the two men. So
that's pretty wild.
Yeah. So yeah. The next morning, Aaron retrieves is what it was supposed to say, but it says revives. Aaron revives a box at his door. He goes out there, gives it chest compressions, brings the box back to life, then brings it inside. Lost my place. Where did he revive the box? There it is.
Places.
Inside, he finds a knife and another DVD from Joseph. Joseph tells him he's sorry for the last video he sent, but says he wasn't in the right headspace because Aaron had drugged him. But now they're even. This is a gift to make sure they're cool, and he tells him there's another thing in the box. It's a wolf plush. Joseph explains, I love wolves because they love deeply, but they don't know how to express it. And they're often very violent. And, quite frankly, murder the things that they love. And inside of the wolf is this beautiful heart. And yeah, it's misguided, and yeah, occasionally it murders things. And this little wolf was so cute. It reminded me of you, honestly. You know, that moment I scared you in the woods, and there was murder in your eyes. But it was baby murder. You're not ready to accept that yet. But I want to encourage you to embrace your inner wolf. So take the wolf. Enjoy it. And more importantly, take the knife. And don't be afraid to murder it. Because when you stick the knife in something, and you gut it, and you really dig inside, I don't know, man. There's all this beautiful stuff. And, I get a little surprise for you in there. See you soon, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah. Aaron cuts open the wolf and finds a heart locket inside the wolf. The locket is engraved J plus A forever, and has pictures of Joseph and Aaron in it. A little creepy.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Aaron, responds honestly pretty smartly. He tries to call the cops. But because he doesn't really know any information about Joseph, like if Joseph is his name, where he lives, anything else about him, last name, nothing else, no other real information about him whatsoever, they can't really help him, like, at all. Because, yeah. I'll cut to later that night when Aaron turns on the camera and says that he's still having the same nightmare over and over again, but slightly different. He explains that now the hot tub has retractable spikes, but he gets interrupted by hearing a noise and gets up to investigate. What could it be?
Probably nothing.
Yeah, you're right. While he's looking around, he doesn't really seem to find anything here for a little bit here. Although we, the audience, see Joseph at the front door just staring in. Joseph hides, and Aaron sees the movement at the door and goes outside to investigate and walks around for a while before finding his trash can knocked over and chalks it up to raccoons. And that's the end of that scene.
Those dang raccoons.
Dang raccoons.
Wait, which scene was it?
The raccoon scene.
Was that scene 7?
Oh, I think that's scene like 9. We cut to the camera turning on to a sleeping Aaron.
Interesting. How would he turn on the camera if he's sleeping? Oh wait, maybe
it's like
he
that.
wasn't.
Well, no, it's like that thing that like a lot of like Instagram like models will do and stuff, where they're like, "Look at this candid shot of me sleeping," but you can tell that it was definitely taken by them.
No.
And that's what he did. And then that's the end of the movie. We find out that actually Aaron's an Instagram model and deserves to die. No, I'm just kidding. That's horrible. That's not even...
Oh, wow.
I don't mean that.
Oh, where did that come from?
Oh, no. I just kind of started to say it, and I regretted it as it was coming out my mouth.
Sorry to any Instagram models who may be listening to us.
It was a joke. I love you guys. I support you. Live your life. I was just trying to be funny.
Get that bag.
The camera
You're
turns...
an Instagram model and deserve to die. Wow.
To be fair, specifically, I was referring to the ones who fake candid pictures of them sleeping.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't make it a lot better, but it does ever so slightly change it.
It does slightly, yeah.
Yeah, so Aaron is sleeping, and oh, what? Look at that! Oh, someone's in the room with him. Oh, it's Joseph, and he cuts off the lock of his hair. Yeah. Cut to a couple of mornings later, where Aaron finds another DVD outside his bedroom window. He goes to the living room and watches it. Joseph tells him in the video, and I will say that the next page and a half of notes is just Joseph talking. So get ready for me just talking for a long time without Chris even having a chance to interrupt.
What you guys have always been asking for.
Less of Chris,
cut him out.
more
cut him out
of
completely.
Austin. There's not enough Austin talking on this podcast. All right. So Joseph tells him in the video, "Hey, Aaron, I get this. You know, you get a grave digging video in the mail, you throw it away. That's not a big deal." He holds up the locket and continues. "This was harder for me to accept. And this hurt me because I made this for you. And it was representative of our friendship and the bond you and I made together at the Heart Rock, right over there. You threw it away, and when I found it in your trash can, I got my heart broken. And if I'm honest, it sent me into a little spiral, and I had some inappropriate and wrong thoughts about what I wanted to do to you and myself, honestly. And that was a red flag. And it scared me. And I thought a lot about it, and I realized something. And it's that you were right. You know, you were right to throw that away. Because we're not friends. Our whole relationship was based on bull poop and lies that I made up, and I'm sorry about that, and I won't ever... What?
Yeah, real.
I won't ever... I don't know. I mistyped here somewhere. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. Move on from that? I don't know. Genuinely, I have no idea. What I wrote was, I won't ever done with it. Don't know what it was supposed to say. I'm sorry, everyone. We'll move on to the next part of his monologue. Now I lost my place. And that's why I'm talking to you today, okay? This is my attempt to be real and truthful and honest with you. And I'm not sure I'm capable of it, but I'm gonna try, okay? To explain to you the truth. And the truth is the truth is I don't know. This is hard to talk about, you know? I don't know what's wrong with me. I've always done this. I've been pretending my whole life, and then there was this phase where I was like, hey, I'll just be an actor because that's what actors do, pretend. So I went headlong into that. And then, you know, it did nothing to me because it wasn't real. I could only get off on it unless it was real. So I saw doctors, and some of them thought, hey, you know, he's crazy. And some thought, nah. And there were medications, but none of that helped me, and it led me to this terrible place. I don't have any friends. I've burned every bridge. My sisters, my parents, I have nothing, and I need somebody to talk to. I'm hoping that your kindness is huge, and then even though I've burned that bridge, and you have no reason to trust me at all, that you'll give me a chance to talk to you, and at the very least explain myself to you. If you never want to see me again, that's fine. At least we'll have closure. But I'm going to be here, at Lake Gregory, tomorrow at 11. And it's a public place. It's wide open. It's completely safe. And I promise you, you don't have to be afraid of me at all. I just want a chance to show you who I really am and the truth of me. Because the truth is, I'm a lonely person. And I'm a sad person. And I really need a friend. And you're the only chance that I have. And then the movie ends because Aaron is smart and can totally see the gaslighting here and moves on with his life. Wait, no, he's actually pities him. So he shows up the next day, telling his camera he's leaving in the car. All right, Joseph, I'm here. You got me. But know that I'm filming this. My phone is set to speed dial to 911. He gets out of his car and walks over and sits on the bench, waiting for Joseph. The shot of him walking and waiting for Joseph is 1 minute and 20 seconds long!
Yeah.
Joseph shows up behind him and puts on the Peach Fuzz mask and reveals an axe and kills Joseph, who's still looking out at the lake.
It is a pretty cool shot, although it lingers probably for a little bit too long.
I have no problem with the shot once Joseph shows up.
Yeah.
It's the minute and 20 seconds it takes from him to walk from the van to then sit down and wait for Joseph to then show up into the shot.
Well, there is also a chainsaw.
Yeah, I skipped over that because it's so it literally does nothing to the story.
Well, it both does and doesn't.
How?
Because he's like, oh, a chainsaw, and your brain goes, oh, a chainsaw, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it's a horror movie.
I guess.
And then he's like, oh, well, no, actually, that's just,
sure,
a guy with a chainsaw doing
I
work,
guess
and so it
I
lowers his
thought it
defense
was
back down.
Not mattering because it was, literally just like a, hey, it happened. Oh, it didn't. Okay, nothing. Moving on. But you're right. It did happen there, and because we have time, we can talk about that scene.
Yeah. And Aaron's, on edge already because he is probably a sociopath. Yeah. But Aaron's a good guy and wants to see the best in people.
He does.
And he's like, oh, yep, chainsaw, I'm dead. And then he's like, oh, wait, no, that's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets stabbed with an axe.
Well, he gets,
impaled in the head with an axe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is that, like I mentioned earlier, I think this is the one special visual effect shot was them. This I have a feeling the axe wasn't real because because there's no makeup department, so
right.
Yeah,
I did like it when Joseph dropped the axe from his trench coat. There's the shot that's zoomed out and he's standing there in his trench coat, and before he puts on the Peach Fuzz mask, you see the axe drop to the floor. I don't know, it just felt cool and intimidating.
It's fair.
It meant nothing to Aaron because, he didn't hear it
over
the sound of the chainsaw.
No, he did not. The video's paused.
He did not hear anything.
Yeah, the video's paused and we see Joseph watching it and he says, it keeps getting better. I remember the first time I watched this, Aaron, and I thought to myself, okay, it was smart that you filmed it and it was smart that you put your phone on speed dial for the cops. But why didn't you at least look behind you? I mean, it just seemed dumb that you would just sit there. And I realized why you didn't turn around. It's because you're the greatest person that's ever lived, Aaron. No matter what I did to you, you believed I was good, and I would do you no harm. And that is why I will always love you. And that's why you'll always be my favorite of them all. When he goes back to watching the video of the lake, where for some reason, past him, jump scares the camera!
Yeah.
The other ones all at least make sense in the scene.
Because this is going to be for his own watch back at this point.
He jump scares himself. We also get him screaming at it. It's so I don't like jump scares. It's been no secret about that. I actually do think, as much as I did, joke about him every time here, I actually think most of the jump scares in this movie felt slightly earned and deserved. This is the most egregious jump scare, besides maybe Bagul at the end of Sinister. It's the same level of.
Yeah.
But actually, it's not over.
No, it's not.
He then gets a call from Gus. Wait, no. It's someone wanting to take the job that will lead to them being his next victim. He takes the call as he walks through his house to put the...
a house.
Well, I assume it's his house.
Well, yeah, probably, because it has everything there.
Yeah. Because he puts the video of Aaron in the cabinet filled with past victims' tapes and DVDs. And we end on our title card. And that's the movie. And I'm going to change it up a little bit here. And Chris, I want you to give me your thoughts first.
Well, as you can probably guess, since this was my Bois Choice, I really enjoyed this movie. No, I did not.
Although I could see myself.
The first time I watched this, and immediately after, I did hate it. And I was like, man, why did I watch that? That sucked to watch. I was uncomfortable the whole way through, and there wasn't even an ending that I could feel good about. It was just a bad time all the way through, and now I feel like doo-doo. And then the longer I thought about it, I was like, oh, yeah, this is exactly what they wanted, huh? Hey, wanted to make me feel uncomfortable and realize that there are bad people out there who take advantage of good-natured people, and that this kind of stuff just happens all the time, and it's a lot of the times there is no happy outcome, and it's wild to think about, but this movie is absolutely an enrapturing experience, I would say. And it really does keep you glued to your seat, whether you like it or not, right up until the end. And I would say, aside from all of that heaps of praise, my biggest complaint would be the jump scares, because I completely forgot about them until I started watching this movie again, and I got by every single jump scare in the movie, and was upset every single time it happens. But yeah, outside of it, wow. What an experience, and what a real and visceral experience it felt like too. Like, the whole found footage doesn't work for a lot of movies, I would say, but in this one, despite the not great cinematography, because it is what it is, it didn't feel like it took away from the movie, if that makes sense.
Sure. All right, that was time for my thoughts. All right, okay. So I'm gonna go do a little journey here on my thoughts. When I first watched this movie, I texted Chris. I don't know if I love this movie or hate this movie, but I don't think there's an in-between. And Chris told me pretty much all of the stuff he just told you there. And, it got me thinking about the movie more. And the more I thought about the movie, I actually came to the conclusion that I was wrong.
There is an in-between.
There is an in-between. And that is how I felt about the movie going into my second watch of it.
Oh, a second one?
Well, because I watch it once to just watch it, and then I watch it.
Yeah, and then a second. Yeah.
That's every movie. That has nothing to do with the quality of the movie. I just watch every movie twice. So I was like, I'm a little indifferent, and I'll explain why I was indifferent. The things I liked and things I didn't like. Things I do like. I actually think this movie does a really good job with just the dread you feel in between shots. Like, these long shots. You're like, they're about to jump scare me. I know that. And I'm mad at them because I can feel it coming, but I don't know exactly when and where it's going to happen. I think that is actually really masterfully done. I will give them that. I like the characters. I think both actors do a really good job portraying their characters. Things I don't like. Biggest one, the camera work. And I get that. That's just found footage, but I don't like it. That doesn't mean, like, and Chris brings up, and I actually do think he's right. It does make it feel a little real and more visceral. That doesn't change the fact that it made me not want to watch it.
And that is entirely fair, and I understand.
Yeah, it made me go, okay, yeah, this, like, I'm not comfortable watching this movie right now, not because, oh, it's unsettling, but because I feel like I'm gonna puke because of how shaky the camera is. And then, now that was kind of like my thoughts in the middle. Then I watched it again. And my thoughts coming out of that are still roughly the same. I'm still, for the most part, in the middle. The things I liked, I still liked. The things I appreciated, even without liking, I think that I agree with Chris, that the camera work does make this feel like it was shot by just a random guy off Craigslist. But it doesn't change the fact that it's hard to watch. I appreciate its realness, but it does still hard to... The thing I realized, though, on the second watch, that I think does kind of push me more towards the dislike than like for this, is one of the things I loved about the first time I watched it. The long, drawn-out moments. They don't work for me at all on a rewatch. I was bored, because I knew when the big moment was coming. So I would just this is just taking forever. This movie is so slow. I watched this movie on 1.5 speed on the way, watching it back to take my notes, and I still felt like it dragged at points. And Chris made a comment that I'm going to somewhat personally refute. He said that you're glued to your seat for when you watch this movie. And I agree. The first time I watched this movie, I was glued to my seat. On a second rewatch, I was bored out of my mind for 90% of it. Except for the 10% where things happened. So that's my thoughts. It's a decent first watch. Don't ever watch it again.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think this movie definitely did... Watching it a second time did a disservice. I think I would
watching it a second time, especially so soon after watching it the first time.
That's fair.
Because my second time watching it, I had the entire recollection of what had happened.
That's fair.
When I had watched it the first time, and I had a general idea of what was going to happen, but the moments of tension still held.
That's fair. I can see that.
But yeah, if you haven't watched this the first time, please do.
I think give it a chance. You still might not like it because
Yeah.
I still don't love it. Like I said,
my
thoughts after the first one
is
still I'm in between. After the second watch, I'm a little bit more to the negative, but it's got some good qualities. I will say that, and I think Chris does raise a point that, watching it back to back is part of what made it more negative. But I will also say that no other movie we've ever watched in Horror Boys on the second back-to-back rewatch did I think worse of the movie just from watching it. So, take that for what it's will. For what it's will. That's how we'll end the podcast.
Worth.
For what it's will. No. I said for what it's will, and I stand by that.
Fair.
Take that for what it's will. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't love the movie. I'm just repeating myself at this point. Yeah, I think the big takeaway I took in this movie is I don't think I like found footage, guys. I think that's the biggest takeaway I had.
Entirely valid, which is why this was a prime opportunity for me to slot one in.
Yeah,
because I do really enjoy found
Buddy,
footage.
is it not happening anytime soon? Actually, I think Blair Witch is on the schedule, which, ooh, Chris might have spicy takes on that. You'll have to wait till whenever we cover it to find out.
No, spicy takes.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm rambling at this point. Which is fine, because this podcast is still going to be one of our shortest ever. But let's get to the next segment here. What do we do after we watch a movie, Chris? What do we typically do?
Plug!
Nope, too soon.
Plug some more!
Nope, before we plug...
Oh, we advertise for the next week.
Yeah, let me just deactivate and reactivate that real quick. Sorry, video listeners and audio listeners who had to hear me say that. But yeah. So we plugged the next episode, which I guess is still plugging, but it's not. When you said plug, you thought I meant the outro plugs.
Right.
This is pre-outro plugs, which is it's Bois Choice too. We're not done choosing boys. Nope. No, the boys aren't done choosing is how I should phrase that. And you might be like, but I only see two boys. What's left? Well, if you've listened to the other episodes, we already teased it. But for this time, if this is your first ever episode, and you're like, well, I don't even know what Bois Choice is. I don't even know who you guys are. Why do I care? You should. Because next week, OG horror boy himself, Isaiah, hopefully, I haven't talked to him in like a week. Hopefully he's still good for it. will be back on the podcast. We're going to be watching his choice, a movie called Delirium. And if you're wondering which Delirium, because that's fair, there's like 3 on IMDb from different like generations. The 2018 one starring Topher Grace. Well, that's the movie we're watching next week. So you guys should be there. Hopefully Isaiah will be there. If not, we'll just talk about the movie he told us to.
Yeah. Review a movie that Isaiah enjoys.
Yeah. So that'll be next week. If you like this podcast, 5-star review on any podcast app you're on, whatever it is, Spotify, Apple, Google, Podbean, I think is one of them that we're on. Podcast Addict, I think is one of the things that's in our Spotify analytics. I don't know. Yeah, tell your friends about it, because I want to see more people. I want to see more people, especially if you have friends who are in the 18 to, I think it's 22 demographic. We only have like less than 1% of our audience in that demographic, and I want that to get up to at least 2%. So if you have young friends who like horror movies, tell them about it. If you have old friends who like horror movies, tell them about it.
If you don't like horror movies,
tell your friends about it. How are you listening to this if you don't like horror movies, but tell your friends about it?
Yeah. Tell everyone.
Also, if you want to see our pretty little faces, head on over to youtube.com/@horrorboys, where you can get a video version of this podcast, where you can see me and Chris's faces and see our reactions to things that each other say. That's something that doesn't pick up on the audio. Is when Chris will say something, I might have a face on. You don't know what that face is, but Chris will also have that face on the times when I'm saying things. You never know. You got the video. Hey, Austin here. I know that was a kind of a weird cutoff there. Well, my mic, the first day we recorded this, cut out then, so the rest of the outro was screwed up. Well, what you missed was, go on over to patreon.com/horrorboys, where you can get our content early and all the other crap that I say every other week. Then I would have said, well, thank you for watching. Goodbye. And Chris would have said, bye. But he's not here, so bye.